What if reality only exists when you look at it? That everything is mostly empty space and particles can be in two places at once. This isn't science fiction, it's quantum physics meeting Vedanta, and it changes everything. Welcome to Sacred Echoes of India. In this segment, we're going to talk about something that sounds almost impossible at first. The idea that the world around you, everything you see, touch, and experience, may not be as solid or as separate as it seems. Let's start with something simple. Take a solid object, say a table. It feels firm, stable, and real. But zoom in deeper into the atomic level. Atoms are mostly empty space. If the nucleus were the size of a marble, the electrons would be orbiting meters away. Everything in between, practically nothing. So why does the table feel solid? Because of electromagnetic forces, fields interacting, not matter touching. Now here's where it gets fascinating. In Vedantic philosophy, there is a concept called Maya, often translated as illusion. Not illusion as in fake, but illusion as in misinterpreted reality. Think of it like a movie screen. You see characters, action, emotion, but underneath, it's just light projections. Similarly, what we perceive as solid matter is really dynamic energy patterns, constantly shifting at the subatomic level. Thousands of years ago, Vedantic thinkers were already asking, is the world as we perceive it truly real? Now let's step into one of the strangest experiments in physics, the double-slit experiment. When particles like electrons pass through two slits, they behave like waves, creating interference patterns. But the moment you observe which slit they go through, they act like particles. It's as if the act of observation changes reality. Physics calls this the measurement problem. We don't fully understand why observation collapses possibilities into a single outcome. But Vedanta might offer a clue. In Advaita Vedanta, reality is described through two concepts: Drig, the seer; Drishya, the seen. The idea is simple but profound. The observer and the observed are not separate. Reality doesn't exist independently. It is shaped through awareness. Just like in the double-slit experiment, where the observer seems to influence the outcome. Vedanta suggests that the consciousness is not just a passive witness. It's an active participant in reality itself. Now let's talk about nothing, or what we think is nothing. In mathematics, zero, shunya, originated in ancient India. It represents emptiness. But in quantum physics, empty space isn't empty at all. The quantum vacuum is buzzing with activity particles constantly appearing and disappearing, energy fluctuating everywhere. So nothing is actually full of potential. This idea echoes an ancient Vedic hymn known as the Nasadiya Sukta, which describes the state before the universe existed. It says, there was neither existence nor non-existence. All was an undifferentiated reality. Sound familiar? Modern physics talks about singularities, points where space, time, and matter collapse into an unknowable state. Vedanta describes something similar through the concept of Brahman and infinite, formless reality that underlies everything, not a thing, but the source of all things. Like an invisible field from which particles emerge, exist, and dissolve back into. Now we reach one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in physics: quantum entanglement. Two particles become linked in such a way that when you change one, the other responds instantly, even across vast distances. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. But Vedantic thought might just smile at that. There is an ancient metaphor called Indra's net. Imagine a vast cosmic web with a jewel at every intersection. Each jewel reflects every other jewel. Change one, and the entire net reflects that change. That's entanglement. Not just particles being connected, but everything being fundamentally interconnected. Vedanta has long claimed there is no true separation, only the illusion of individuality. Modern physics is beginning to echo that idea. So, where does this leave us? In 2026, quantum computing is advancing rapidly. Interestingly, researchers are exploring logic systems inspired by Sanskrit, one of the most structured and precise languages ever developed. Why? Because Sanskrit grammar mirrors computational logic in surprising ways, layered, recursive, and deeply systematic. This raises a bigger question. What if ancient knowledge systems weren't primitive but foundational? What if intuition and metaphysical insight weren't opposed to science but actually guided it? Imagine an education system where philosophical inquiry comes before experimentation, where understanding consciousness is just as important as measuring particles. Quantum physics is pushing us to the edge of understanding, and at that edge, we are starting to hear echoes from the past. Vedanta doesn't just belong to history. It might be a roadmap, not just for understanding the universe, but for understanding the observer within it. And maybe, just maybe, the two were never separate to begin with. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful videos. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.